Okay, so if you're an engineering student or a recent grad, you know there's this one huge milestone standing between you and the next big thing in your career, the fundamentals of engineering exam. Yeah, it can seem pretty intimidating, but it really doesn't have to be. In this explainer, we are going to break down the entire process, from how you should prep to what actually happens after you hit that submit button. Let's get right into it. So are you ready to take that first major step toward becoming a licensed professional engineer, a PE? While the FE exam is your gateway. It's basically designed to test all that technical know-how you've spent years learning, and passing it really sets the foundation for everything else to come. So here's our game plan. We're going to walk you through this whole thing from start to finish. First, we'll cover the basics of what the exam even is. Then, we'll get into your long-term prep strategy, because, let's be honest, success starts months in advance. After that, we'll talk tactics for crushing those multiple-choice questions, what to do in those final 24 hours, and finally, what to expect with your results. All right, let's start at square one. What exactly is the FE exam? Well, according to NCEES, that's the council that runs the whole show, its purpose is super clear. It is the first official step you take in the professional licensure process. And look at who this exam is for. This isn't some random abstract test. It's made specifically for people who are just about to graduate or who just finished their degree. So the material's supposed to be pretty fresh in your mind. Oh, and it's also a computer-based exam, which, as you'll see, has some pretty big advantages. Let's talk numbers for a second. You're going to be facing 110 multiple-choice questions. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but it's totally manageable once you get your timing and your strategy down. Every single question is just another chance to show what you know. And this brings us to the whole endurance aspect of the exam. The total appointment is 6 hours long, but that's not 6 straight hours of testing, so don't panic. That time includes a tutorial, a non-disclosure agreement, and, most importantly, a 25-minute scheduled break. Pacing is absolutely everything. Now, here is one of the best things about this being a computer-based test. You do not have to wait for weeks and weeks to get your results. You'll get an email from NCEES in just 7 to 10 business days telling you it's time to log in and see how you did. I mean, that is an incredibly fast turnaround. So, now that you know what you're up against, let's talk about how to actually prepare for it. This next part is all about your long-term strategy. Because knowing the exam format is one thing, but being truly ready for it, that's a whole different ballgame, and it starts months before you ever set foot in that test center. So what should you have on your desk? Well, these are the absolute must-haves. You got to start with the NCE's exam spec, so you know exactly what topics are fair game. Then, and this is huge, you need to download the free NCES FE reference handbook right away. This is the only reference material you can use during the exam, so you need to know it like the back of your hand. And of course, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats getting your hands on official practice exams. And this right here really nails the mindset you need to have. As Dr. Ben Buckner says, this isn't just another final exam, it's a licensing exam. It tests a broad range of foundational knowledge. Trying to cram all that information in the last week? Yeah, that's just not going to fly. You've got to commit to a slow, steady, disciplined study plan. That's the secret sauce. Okay, let's switch gears and talk tactics. This section is all about mastering those multiple choice questions. I mean, since the entire exam is multiple choice, if you can understand how the questions are built, and more importantly, how to take them apart, it's like having a superpower on test day. Dr. Buckner breaks it down into 2 really powerful approaches. First, you've got the positive approach. This is what we all do naturally, right? You solve the problem, then you look for your answer in the choices. It's perfect for those straightforward calculation problems. But then there's the negative approach, and this, my friends, is a game changer. When you're not sure, you flip the script. Instead of looking for the right answer, you hunt for the wrong ones and eliminate them. Your odds of getting it right go way, way up. And here's why that negative approach is so effective. See, the wrong answers, they call them distractors. They aren't just random. They're specifically designed to look right. They're the answers you'd get if you made a really common mistake, like forgetting to convert units or using the wrong formula. So if you can spot those traps, you can often eliminate a couple of options immediately. All right, you've studied for months, you've got your strategies down. Now let's talk about the end game. This is all about the final countdown, what you do in those last 24 hours. And it really comes down to 2 things, logistics and mindset. This quote from Alexander McCaskill really says it all. You have to go into exam day with the right mindset. A 6-hour exam is an endurance event, for sure. You can't just burn out in the first hour. You have to pace yourself, manage your energy, and just stay cool. If you hit a tough spot, just take a breath and remember, it's a marathon. So, here it is, your final checklist. The night before, get your bag packed. Make sure you have your approved calculator, your ID, and some snacks and water for that break. Maybe do a light review of a few key formulas, but please do not cram. Your main job is to relax and get a good night's sleep. And then, on the big day, wake up with plenty of time and get to the test center early. No need for any last-minute stress.
You've done it. You survived the marathon. You click that final submit button. So, what happens now? Let's dive into our final section, what happens after the exam.
The results process is actually super simple. There are no letter grades, no percentages, no scores. You get one single, straightforward result in your NCES account, pass or fail. It's that clear, a simple yes or no.
Now, pay attention to the difference in what you get back. If you pass, you basically just get a congratulations, you did it, job done. But if you fail, and this is actually incredibly valuable, NCES gives you a diagnostic report. This thing breaks down your performance by subject, showing you exactly where you did well and where you need to focus your studying for the next time around.
And speaking of a next time, it's really important to know the retake rules. NCEES says you can take the FE once per testing window and up to 3 times in any 12-month period. So it's not the end of the world if the first try doesn't go your way. There's a clear path to try again.
Look, passing the FE is a massive accomplishment. It's a huge validation of all your hard work in college. But it's also just the beginning, right? It opens the door to your engineer in training certification and puts you squarely on the path to becoming a professional engineer. So with this peak conquered, the only real question left is, what's the next one you're going to climb?